Good morning, students. In the previous video, we studied about which dates are important in history, how do we periodize, what is colonialism, and what sources do historians use in writing about the 250 years of Indian history. How do we periodize? How do we classify history into different time periods and how the classification changes the importance of events? The first periodization of Indian history was done in 1817 by James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, who published a massive 3-volume work named A History of British India, in which he divided Indian history into 3 different periods: Hindus, Muslims, and British. Firstly, this periodization came to be widely accepted, but this periodization also had its demerits and problems. Mill thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. According to him, before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslim despots ruled the country. Religious intolerance, caste taboos, and superstitious practices dominated social life. British rule, according to Mill, could civilize the Indians. This periodization by James had its own problem, because it is difficult to refer to any period of history as Hindu or Muslim, because a variety of faiths existed simultaneously during these times. Then the later historians have divided Indian history into ancient, medieval, and modern. This division too has its problems. It is a periodization that is borrowed from the West, where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity: science, reason, democracy, liberty, and equality. Medieval was a term used to describe a society where these features of modern society did not exist. But these features of modernity was totally absent in Indian society. The British did not allow Indians freedom of religion, thought, and they looked upon Indians as uncivilized people. Then we studied about administration produces records. In this topic, we studied that the record rooms were set up and attached to all administrative institutions. The British also felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully written and preserved. Once done, things could be properly studied and debated later on. All these records could be referred for later periods. By the middle of the 19th century, with the spread of printing, multiple copies of these records were printed as proceedings of each government department. Today, we will study about surveys conducted by the British, how it was useful to them as well as to the Indians later on. A survey is defined as a research method used for collecting data from a predefined group of respondents to gain information on various topics. So we can also say it in other words, a study of the opinion, behavior, etc. of a group of people is called survey. The British believed that a country had to be properly known before it could be effectively administered. So this was the thought behind conducting different types of surveys. By the early 19th century, they carried out different types of surveys like the zoological survey, archaeological survey, anthropological survey, forest survey, botanical surveys. All these surveys help them to effectively administer the country or to rule the country. They carried out detailed surveys to map the entire country, first of all. Then this was done to know about the topography, the soil quality, the flora, the fauna, the local histories and cropping patterns of India or whichever country they colonized. They prepared detailed records of the number of people in all the provinces of India and noted information on caste, religion, and occupation. They conducted many other surveys like the botanical surveys, zoological surveys, etc., like I told you before. So, all this helped them to rule the Indians better. According to them, they could reach to various parts of the country which even the Indians had not done earlier. Most of these surveys helped India later on because it united the people in some manner. Most of the people did not know about the faraway lands in India, but due to these surveys, different parts of the country which were earlier not known to everyone was easily known. Now I would like you to underline from the first paragraph. I would like you to underline from the British believed that the country had to be properly known before it could be effectively administered. Then they carried out detailed surveys in the next paragraph. Detailed surveys were being carried out to map the entire country. To know the topography, the soil quality, the flora, the fauna, the local histories, and the cropping pattern. And then they also started conducting census every 10 years. Census is the counting of the population of a place. So they prepared detailed records of the number of people in all the provinces of India, noting information on caste, religion, and occupation. But all these official records do not give us all types of informations. All the surveys were official records and tell us what the officials thought, what they were interested in, and what they wished to preserve for the future generations. These surveys and records do not tell us what other people in the country felt. For this, again, we need to search other sources like the diaries of people, accounts of pilgrims. Pilgrims are people who travel to holy places. Then these accounts of pilgrims, travelers, popular booklets sold in the local bazaars, autobiographies of important personalities, the work of poets, novelists, reformers and leaders of that time who wrote to express their feelings. Through these records, we can know about the actual picture of the Indian society during the British period. And all this was made possible with the spread of printing. I would like you to underline. It's all given in your book if you go through it. So come to the second paragraph. Then we have diaries of people, accounts of pilgrims, travelers, autobiographies of important personalities, and popular booklets that were sold in the local bazaars. Then all this was possible through the newspapers that were published and issues were debated. Then accounts of poets and novelists, leaders and reformers. But again, all these have some limitations, because this is not sufficient to understand how history was experienced and lived by the tribals, peasants, workers in the mines, or the poor in the streets. But again, about these we can know from the accounts written by British and others of the tribal and peasant uprisings in the country. So this chapter is almost done. I would like you to underline all these sources were produced by those who were literate. And then again, the chapter is done. Let's go to the exercises. Let's recall. State whether true or false. The first one, James Mill divided Indian history into 3 periods: Hindus, Muslims, and Christians. So the answer is it's false, because it was Hindus, Muslims, and British. Second one is, official documents help us understand what the people of the country think, whether true or false. No, they tell us only about what the officials wanted. So that one is false. And the third one, the British thought surveys were important for effective administration. This answer is true. Let us discuss question number 2, 3, and 4. All these answers are there in your book, and by now I hope you will be able to find the answers and write it on your own. And those who are not able to, you can very well write it down from NCERT solutions or from the extra marks. I would like you to note down some questions which are not there in the book, some extra questions, short ones. Please note it down and answer all these questions in your copy. You can use your old copy for writing question answers, but please do write it in neat handwriting. First question is, define history. Second one is, define survey. Third question is, why did the British conduct survey? B capital. Third one, why did the British conduct survey? Then the next question is, define census. Next one is, after how many years the census is conducted? And the last one is, what were the sources of information? The next question is, what were the sources of information other than official records about the history of India? What were the sources of information other than official records about the history of India? I hope you find all these answers and write in your copy and learn. If you have a problem, you may send a message through Campus Care. Thank you.